All right, it's media day. We're talking 15-6A with Tomball head coach David Handal. Coach, last year, first year as a head coach, and you came out, or the head coach for Tomball, I should say. You came out the gates a little slow with the non-district, but then you reeled off 6 in a row. You pulled off some solid wins in the playoffs. I tell you what, the Cougars over the last 2 years have been. Nobody can really figure out, how to stop you guys when the postseason starts rolling around. I mean, I know DeSoto did, but they ended up being state champs. So I guess if you want to win a state championship, you got to get through Tomball, right? That's how it works.
We don't talk about that, but we just talk about just trying to play our best football at the end of the year, and it's worked out the past 2 years for us to do that.
You guys got the Klein schools and some Tomball schools in there as well, and it's a nice little area district where you guys can kind of hit everywhere. And last year you had a big time running game with Christian in your offensive lineman. You had like 3 of them on the all district team. A lot of them are gone. Are we stepping away? Are we gonna have to rebuild at the running back position, or is the man, I'm looking for his name, Kobe Foster, is he going to be able to step in and kind of leave off with Womack?
We think so. Kobe spilled Christian at times last year and actually ran for around 800 yards. Kobe's a dynamic kid, can do a lot of things for us in the passing game, so we're excited about that. Christian's obviously a hard dude to replace, but we feel good about what we have coming back. We obviously need some dudes to step up on our offensive line because we did lose 4 of our starters and Christian. So that those are some big voids that we have to fill. But our kids have been working hard this spring and this off season, and we feel good about what we have coming back.
I was always interested about that. When you have a dynamic running back like Christian, and he's going to be a solid part of your game plan every week in and week out as he's a senior.
Oh yeah.
But you also know the future's coming too, right? I like how you talked about Fosher. Some coaches kind of like, okay, we're going to pound this guy while we have him, and others say, hey, we need to kind of work this other guy in because Christian ain't going to be here forever. How does that kind of dynamic work with your offensive game plan when it comes to guys like that?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had fortunate, to have success with, when Christian's out there and when Kobe's been out there, and so. With Kobe being an underclassman, we knew that the day was going to come at some point when we didn't have Christian. And so we tried to find him as many opportunities as possible to get some reps and to get some carries and touches. And so he took full advantage of that. And when he was out there, we never missed a beat. So, and there's some things that we can do with Kobe passing game wise that we didn't really do with Christian. And so we're excited about that. And then our quarterback's back, Carter Noyce, he'll be a 2-year starter for us. And then all of our receivers are back. So last year, and as you could tell, and you alluded to this, our slow start, we were very young early on with kids never experiencing Friday night football, never experiencing a varsity football game. So those first 2 games were kind of a culture shock for them, and they continue to work and get better. And so, and as we grew, as we went on in our season, we got more confident with what we were doing offensively, and we look for those guys, our receiving core led by Brooks Janot and our quarterback to take a big step and really have a more dynamic passing game this year as well.
Let's flip it and talk a little bit about the defense, because one of the games where your defense really stepped up is your last win, the one against New Caney, where
yes, sir.
They talked about Kedrick Riscano this, Kedrick Riscano that, and you guys kind of settled down and won a low-scoring game where you needed the defense to step up. Is that something they can kind of build off of going into next year?
Oh, absolutely. We have 9 returning starters back on defense, so just like us offensively last year, they were very young. A lot of kids have never played varsity football, and they just continue to work hard and get better each and every week. And the really highlight of the season defensively for us was that New Caney game against a dynamic guy like Riscano and all the things he could do and all the success that they have had offensively prior to our game. We knew it was going to be a challenge, and Coach Shinasa, our defensive coordinator, and our defensive staff did a great job with their plan, with their preparation, and the kids went out and played their butts off and executed it.
We talked about graduation a little earlier. I'm kind of glad that Kedrick has graduated because I just once again pronounced his name wrong. I know it's Risano, but I've been doing it all the time. But he's out of his college, and he probably won't watch this. Don't worry about that. Talk about your schedule, because it's going to be the same as last year, where you hit those big dogs at the end of the season. Is that a good or a bad thing, where you kind of hit the Collins and the Klein Kane at the back in the season, where you kind of can build up some momentum when you go after them, or is it a deal? Would you rather play them kind of have it a little mixed up in this middle of the season?
You know, the how we look at our district, we feel like we play in one of the most competitive leagues in the state, and it doesn't matter who we play; it's going to be a challenge, whether it be Collins, Kane, Forrest. You know, Coach Wilson's done a good job with those guys, and they're super athletic, and they can beat anybody on any night. And Coach Parker at Memorial is always a challenge for us. So. In our league, it doesn't matter who we play. We know it's going to be tough. We just know at some point we got to play them. That's the way that the schedule has it. So it's a huge challenge for us. Obviously, with Kane and Collins with the success they've had, but it's no different than us playing Klein and Tomball Memorial, Klein Forest. Those guys, I mean, are just as talented, and we have to play well in order to have success against any of those teams.
Yeah, you got a bunch of different type styles, because Collins comes out with that solid defense. Klein Forest has the fastest guy in the state, not going to Marshall, right? Not going to Marshall with Jelani Watkins, and that's probably a hard cover as well. It's nice, because then I feel like that's maybe how you guys have so much success in the playoffs, because you play such a variety of teams in your district play, that when you hit out into the postseason and people look at your record and like, okay, well, they're not 10-0, so maybe we're going to be able to take care of business, and all of a sudden there's the Cougars going 4 or 5 rounds deep in the postseason.
Right, I agree with you 100%. Like I alluded to, the opponents we play each and every week in District 15-6A provide us that challenge, that where we feel like once we get in the playoffs that we can compete with anybody, as long as we play well, of course. So with the guys we see each and every week, our kids aren't afraid of anybody, as far as when we line up against the New Caneys, against the DeSotos. We feel like we can beat anybody when we play well, and that our district teams that we do play that really prepare us for success in the playoffs. Yeah,
in the high school football public agrees with you there too. You're not going to surprise anybody after what's going on the last 2 years. So they better be ready for a bowl game when they go up against the Cougs. Coach, I appreciate you joining us today, and good luck. I know we're 3 months away, but good luck when that thing gets started.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me.